You know
What part of Africa you was in?
I was in Ghana. Accra.
That's fine.
Lit. I got all my peoples out there, so it was like I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt home.
Last week, we got to talking, and he invited us to a cookout at their house yesterday. So I got really excited because I found a potato salad recipe on social media.
But why does this map that they tried to get rid of say we are the Jews? And this is an old, ancient map.
No, because we have a different religion. Yeah, in communism, we don't need to pray. So
a Chinese man is saying that China or Chinese people do not worship God, or they don't even have a religion, and their religion is communism. That's what he's saying. And also, some Americans who have actually visited Africa are sharing their wonderful experience that they had. Another American is also sharing with us a map that clearly shows that Africa, especially in West Africa, we are the real Jews. I don't want to talk much. Let's go into the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the video.
Okay, let's talk about religion in China. Really? Are they like more Christians or Muslims?
Religion. So this is a very hard question to answer, because in China, I think a lot of people don't have religion. Yeah. The only religion for most of the religion in China for the young people is communism. Yeah, because it's very, very tough question. I answer this because
So you don't pray? You pray?
No.
No time to pray.
No, because we have a different religion. Yeah, in communism, we don't need to pray. So if you believe God, still have some people to believe God, they will pray in the church, but just a few people, not a lot of people.
So you do have churches in China?
We have, but I don't go to church in China because I don't believe this religion. It's not my religion. So my religion is communism. Actually, I don't have religion. So when the student in university, the teacher and the country always tell you, we don't have any religion. We just believe the technology. This is we believe. We don't believe the God for the young people. So this is the government in China did. Yeah, it's very different. You know, in US, in Africa, the people believe God is Jesus, right? But in China, it's different. But we still have a little bit of people believe this. But most of the people don't believe this.
And I think probably it's one of the reasons why China is like so developed, because you don't believe in God, or you just believe in technology. So whatever energy you have, whatever time you have, you used to manufacture things, you used to like build.
Yeah, we just focus on reality. So we don't believe this.
So once an African man is in church praying, praying in tongues, say Baba, a Chinese man is actually somewhere developing technology, building and manufacturing things. That's the difference. Wow. Okay.
But you can focus more information about these topics, because this answer just from me, not from the whole Chinese people. Yeah.
But I believe there are other Chinese people who come to Ghana and then they start going to church and all of that.
Yeah, I went to church before in Ghana. Yeah, in Ghana. Yes, very good. You know, in the church, everybody just sing the song and very happy. So I love this environment. I love this web, you know. So people are so happy just singing the song, to believe the God, the God is power, something like this. Yes, I love to go to the church. But I don't believe this, but I love the vibe, environment. The people is friendly. We can talk. We can sing together. We can listen to the music. It's very good experience.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Yeah. All right, so what brought you to Ghana?
This is a big, long story. I can use one word: opportunities. You know, when I graduated from university and then I worked in New Zealand, it's a developed country. It's a West country. So I worked there for 1 year, and I was a chef and cashier. I do a lot of jobs, but I realized if I work in a developed country, I can't get any opportunities. So, and then I think right now the Africa is developing, is very fast developing. So I choose to come here to work and to see any opportunities I can do. So this is why I come here.
Okay, so Africa has 54 different countries.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Ghana?
Ghana. So as I know the four part, the North Africa, the East Africa, the West Africa, and South part of Africa. So West Africa, I think is compare the South part and the East part is more poor. I think it's just relatively. And in Ghana, in the West Africa, I think it's very big. The economy is good. The safety is good. So this is why I choose the first country in Africa is Ghana.
Okay, wow, amazing. Now, when you're back in China, what are some of the things you heard about Africa and Ghana?
Africa is not like you think. The poor is not like you think. It's very good. You can see a lot of building. You can see a lot of good service, good people, smart people around here. It's not something the Chinese people think in their mind. It's very different.
Okay, so when you're moving to Ghana, what are some of the things your parents told you and your family?
My parents, my friends, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, Neil, don't go to Africa. Africa is dangerous. It's poor. Don't go to Africa. So just stay in China." I say no, because a lot of people see Africa is poor and dangerous, but I never been to Africa, so I need to see what is the real. But when I really come here, I say, wow, it's very different. Like in the before, I thought Africa is poor, is corruption and not good. But right now I come here, live here for almost 2 months. I think the people is friendly, the place is beautiful, and so I like here. It's not what I thought. I thought it's very tough to live, but in reality, it's good.
Top 5 places to be.
Number one, it would be Africa. I've been to Africa.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. How long you stayed?
I stayed there for 3 weeks.
Whoa.
I love the Africa, bro. I was in the trenches with the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I love the Africa.
Good reception.
Bro.
Felt belong, right? Like,
Hell yeah. They're like, welcome home, bro.
Why?
Like, welcome home. Like, you know
what part of Africa you was in?
I was in Ghana. Accra.
That's fine.
Lit. I got all my peoples out there. So it was like I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt home. Like all my bros be walking in there. You know what they show on TV? That shit ain't Africa, bro. Like,
Yeah.
these niggas we ain't riding. The cheapest car we rode in was a Range Rover. That's real shit. Like, even walking in my man's crib, they got 8-bedroom mansions. Shit is fucking retarded, bro. Like,
Yeah.
the parties.
So you would move to Africa?
No, I'm definitely moving to Africa.
You going to?
Yes. That's like a 6 year plan for a fact. You know what I'm saying?
I heard it here. We pack it up. We moving to Africa.
Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't really tell anyone. I feel like I'm of age. I didn't want the naysayers in my ears. I didn't want anyone to talk me out of something that I felt so strongly, spiritually resolved to do. Of course, I told my immediate family. I told people important to me, and they was overall supportive. My mom was more supportive than my dad was, but it was based off of their perception of Africa. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize how much people are ignorant to the modernization of Africa itself. This is not Africa 1920, 1930, 1940. This is Africa 2026. So I don't think there's any place on earth today that's so underdeveloped that they lack common technology.
I just found out we have a black family in the neighborhood. I met the dad at carne asada night at the Mexican's house last week. We got to talking, and he invited us to a cookout at their house yesterday. So I got really excited because I found a potato salad recipe on social media that I've been wanting to try. It's got red potatoes, golden potatoes, celery, sea salt, Dijon mustard, olive oil mayonnaise, red pepper flakes, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of cumin, raisins. So I made that and I took it over. I presented it to the older lady in the kitchen and it was a showstopper. The entire place went dead silent. It must have been good because it disappeared before we even sat down to eat.
Look at this. a map from the 1700s of the west coast of Africa. Look what it say. Why is it saying Jews everywhere? Why does it say the kingdom of Judah on the west coast of Africa? Why? Why? Why does it say Jews? Why? Why does it say Jews in Ghana? Why? Why does it say Jews in Nigeria? Why? Why? We not the Jews, right? That's what y'all saying, right? We not the Jews. Well, why does this map that they tried to get rid of say we are the Jews? And this is an old ancient map. Why? Somebody tell me, man. Why? Why does it say kingdom of Judah? Jew is short for Judah. If we came from the west coast of Africa and the Jews came from the west coast of Africa, from the kingdom of Judah, then who are we? Somebody answer that question for me, man.
We have to stop calling ourselves people of color. They're using that against us. By calling ourselves people of color and we stop using black, we're helping to extinguish our voice in the public conversation because nobody's hearing black no more. Nobody's hearing American or African no more. Most black people, when they describe themselves, what do they say? I'm a person of color, people of color. By doing this, you're lumping yourselves up with the Latinos, the Arabs, the East Indians, the Native Americans, the homosexuals, the women. Here's the problem with that. Once they get us calling ourselves people of color, which they've already have, let's say 2 years, right? For 2 years, most black people have stopped identifying as black. They now say people of color. They're going to get to a point where you're completely identified with all these other non-white people who can't stand you any more than the Caucasian. And then you know what they're going to do? They're going to flip all these other people of color against your interests. Let me give you an example of how they're doing it right now. There's surveys being carried out across America where they're asking other people of color, reds, yellows, browns, poor whites, what do you think about reparations to black people? This is what they're doing right now. It's happening now. And guess what the Asians are saying? I don't think they need reparations. America isn't racist. What do you think the East Indians are saying? I don't think they need reparations. America isn't racist. What do you think the Native Americans and the European Jews are saying? I don't think they need reparations. America isn't racist. So the same people you identify with as people of color, when questions come up about your issues and your agenda, they can cancel it. Why? Because all the other people of color who you now identify with have taken a vote and said, y'all don't need reparations.
As foreign as the language Gloria McIlway is speaking may sound, it's native to this country.
Tut is a language that was created here in America by American slaves. It's a system of reading that was secretly devised at a time when slaves weren't allowed to learn to read. And if they were caught, the punishments were terrible.
In spite of the risk, mothers taught their children, and the language was handed down from generation to generation. That's how it was in Gloria's family.
I learned to speak Tut language when I was very young. I heard my mother and her sister speaking it when my aunt would come to visit. She sounded the consonants and spoke the vowels, which is how you do in Tut. Because when you're speaking Tut, you're spelling the exact English word. You're simply spelling it by using its actual phonetic sound.
So Tut became a way for slaves who could read to read aloud to those who could not. But more importantly, it became a way for slaves to speak to each other secretly. 30 years ago, the former office administrator started to research and study Tut seriously. and eventually opened an office in her home. The result is the first book ever written in Tut.
Of the 1,500 books that I had in original print, I've sold about 700 of the books myself. And I also have a website. If you click on the little picture of the word Hello, you'll hear that's hello in Tut.
Since her retirement, Gloria McIlwain devotes all of her time to spreading the word about Tut.
I would like everyone to know that Tut language is here, its origins, the fact that it is a piece of American history, and that it is the type of information that shows how self-determination and self-reliance can come about and be used no matter what the circumstances.
Well, from years of research, Gloria's found people mostly from the southern part of the country who speak Tut, but she also found Tut speakers in Trinidad, Canada, and the Midwest. And since she's been online, she's had inquiries from as far away as Amman, Jordan. Now, when I was a kid, whenever my parents, and I think this is the language they were speaking, wanted to talk about things that we should not hear or understand,
is that right?
They use Tut.
I would think that linguists would really be interested in this just because people always wonder, well, how does a language actually start?
Yeah.
And that's precisely how it starts.
Yeah.
Changing. Yeah, exactly.
With the internet, it can stay alive. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
As of 2024, there were only 100 native Tut speakers left in America. And that number, more than 60, I think 65% of them were over 70. A language that has existed for hundreds of years in America is dying out because we don't pass culture anymore. We stopped passing on culture. We created a new culture, which is what a lot of people outside America have been trying to say when they say Black Americans have no culture. All the culture that you had, you killed it. You created a new one that is based entirely on what Jews pushed on TV to Americans. There's another language called Galagichi. Galagichi, that one I would say it has at least 1,000 speakers, at least 1,000. I don't want to say at most, but I think at least 1,000 speakers left. My point here is Black America could have had its own language today where they're speaking and nobody understands them. You have to learn the language to understand. But a lot of Black American languages, Tut and Gullah are not the only two. That history is dying. That culture is dying. And before some of you come at me, tell me that professor, whatever guy that's Gullah. Nah, I wanted to reach out to him till I found out he be pushing that FBA shit. And that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Because you cannot be FBA and Gullah. Like, that makes no fucking sense. That's like being Black and Clan. For example, to start off, the Gullah people identify with their ancestry in Sierra Leone. They've traced it back to an island in Sierra Leone, and they travel there yearly, every year till today. There's still a pilgrimage for Black Americans, Gullahs, to Sierra Leone to go see their ancestry and whatever. So how are you Gullah, or how are you claiming Galagichi and FBA? So that's why don't call me that. Don't tell me that professor, whatever guy. Please don't call his name. But Black Americans, y'all gotta step up, man. Y'all really need to step up and find your history and solidify it. Pass it on to your children. Write books. Reach out. Go talk language. See if it still exists. It's like this is crazy, man.
Middle Passage, white people. Slavery, white people. Jim Crow, white people. Lynchings, white people. Trail of Tears, white people. Wounded Knee, white people. Asian internment camps, white people. The vast majority of gun violence, white people. You see a trend? January 6th, white people. Ahmaud Arbery, 3 white guys. George Floyd, white guys. The felon in the White House, a white man. You see a trend? But somehow, the white man has convinced stupid, uneducated, trailer park trash, 3-teeth inbreds, white supremacists, Triple K members, that the brown people picking your almonds and your walnuts and your lettuce and your avocados, somehow they're the fucking problem. They're not. We are. And until we grasp that, we can blame and sit here with all of these left bro podcasters and the Pod Save America and the Midas Touches and talk about, oh, it's the cost of eggs. It's the cost of gas. Fuck it is. No, it's not. Why haven't we had a woman president? Why did we go from a black president to the most corrupt white man in the history of our country? Why did the majority of white people, the only demographic that didn't vote for Harris, and that same demographic didn't vote for Zohran Mamdani? Because we're the problem. because there is a chunk of this country that is afraid that the white majority is going away. And they're going to kick and scream like little children, like Santa Claus taking away your present, because they think that their traditional family values is going away. And this country and the Republican Party has done a good job of indoctrinating a bunch of white men. Every sentence, this is how it goes. Once upon a time, freedom, God, Jesus, freedom, freedom, Second Amendment. This is how their brains are working, because they don't have critical thinking. They've been indoctrinated. And for them to be woke, which means actually seeing this country for what it is, it's breaking their brains, because they've been lied to their entire life, and their version of American exceptionalism is bullshit. And they know it is, and they don't want it to be, because they want their whiteness to keep them at the top of the food chain.
This man is absolutely right, and anyone offended or feeling attacked by this statement, it's pretty clear to understand why.
So you see how Chinese people do their thing. But Africans, we spend so much time in churches, sometimes from Monday to Sunday. That's what we do all the time. And I am not saying don't worship God or don't do anything religious, you understand? But I think we spend more time in churches than we are supposed to spend time probably on what is needed, you understand? Worship God in your own way, but we have things that can also elevate us. But we don't spend enough time on such things, but all the time we go to church from Monday to Sunday. And that is what Chinese people do not do. That's why you are seeing China move the way they move within a short period of time, about 40 years. China has totally changed into what you see today. And today, when you talk about the world, China is like the country that basically controls everything in the world right now. So I hope if you're African and you're watching this, you will pick a thing or two from what this man said. And this guy talking about the Jews are located around West Africa. Listen, you know, when we talk about the Jews, it is not about the land. Per my understanding, this is what I think. It is not about the land. It is about the people. And the people actually moved. So the people that are actually claiming that they are Jews, we all know they are not. They are not the real Jews. But at the right time, the truth will surely do what? Come out. The real truth will definitely come out. You will see even people have actually started seeing how they behave and all that, and they know that this is not coming from God's people. This behavior is not coming from God's people. People have actually seen it, and definitely it is going to unveil itself really well for all of us to see. Thank you so much for watching.